Hi! So before we get on to the tutorial, I just want to show you this Crayola light up tracing pad. It's basically just a cheaper light pad light box rather than the more expensive professional kinds. It turns on like this, and it comes with stencils. So this would be one stencil, this page here, but there are other stencils. You can use these stencils to trace and practice your inking. So if you never have sketches that you can practice your inking with, it comes with a bunch of these sheets that you can just practice with. So you can get this at Target and Walmart for about $20 to $25, I think. It's rather cheap. It's by Crayola, and I love this. I use it to transfer my drawings from one sheet to another, like my sketch to another sheet of paper. So that's all I wanted to say. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and bye! Okay, on to the actual tutorial. Before I actually start, I just want to say that you do not need to draw this beforehand. This is a tutorial for inking in general, so do not feel obligated to have a drawing just like this to be able to do this. Okay, so on to what I'm using. I'll be using these Marvy technical drawing pens, or Le Pen drawing technical pens. Like, it's a mouthful, but it's by Marvy Uchida, and you could just honestly look up technical drawing pens. And I'll be using these in the sizes 05, 0.1, and 03. And you can use any type of multi-liner that you want. I just happen to use these the most, and I will be coloring this with marker, which is why I'm choosing these. I also use Copic multi-liners, but I prefer to use these for whatever reason, because I have them in more sizes. Okay, so I'm not going to be inking this whole thing. Mostly just this girl and some other random things, just to show you what I do. So, here, I'm going to start with the 05 or 55 size, whatever you want to call it. And I usually start where the points are, so let's say where two lines intersect or where two lines meet. That's where I start, and I kind of flick outwards as I do that. And to be able to get really smooth lines, it's not the pen necessarily, it's your own strength, I guess, or confidence in your inking skills. So I start where two lines meet, and then I kind of thicken it right there. So wherever you see two lines meet, always thicken it, like over here. This is where the face or the cheek meets with this piece of hair. I'm going to thicken it right there. And I'm just going to flick outwards so that the part that isn't where the lines meet is thinner. And that's pretty much all I do for my technique. There's not much I do. And don't be afraid to, turn the picture upside down so that you can get more of a smooth stroke, because I like to stroke downwards. It's easier for me that way. If it's easier for you to do it upwards, then by all means just do what's most comfortable for you. So here again, I'm starting where the two lines meet, and then I just flick outwards or just do one huge line. And don't be afraid if it looks kind of wobbly. You just need some more practice. Because if you're afraid that your lines are going to be wobbly, then your lines are going to become wobbly. Just have confidence in your inking. And the more practice you have, the more confident you become. So wherever the lines meet, just thicken that part. And another thing I like to do is that, let's say for the cheeks right here, for example, wherever there is a curved line, I like to thicken the middle of that curve, like so. Not sure if you can see that, but like right in the middle, that's where it's mostly thickened. And I like to make maybe one or two large strokes rather than just doing one, because then you're going to be shaky by the time you get to the other end. So don't be afraid to make multiple strokes when you're inking, like so. Just try to be uniform with them. And I'm just going to continue doing this here, and we have the spot right here, so I'm just going to thicken where these two lines meet. And that's honestly all I do for my style of inking. Nothing special here. See how I thickened right here? So I think I'll do the rest of this girl in time lapse and then explain what I did, because I don't think you guys want to watch me just do the exact same technique. Okay, so I'm sure you guys didn't watch this just to watch me ink, so now I'm going to go over what I did. So here, you can see I did deepen the points where the lines meet each other. So just by doing that, your art will already look a little bit more made up. But then another thing I like to do that I just started doing recently is that I like to really thicken the edges, as you can see, the borders around it. It makes it look more made up, more professional, and the lines look cleaner in contrast to the white. So that's all I did here, and now I'm just going to go over how to do like inking with longer lines. With these, you kind of have to be a little bit careful, but you can always thicken the lines. Just do little strokes at a time. Don't be scratchy about it. Don't just go no, you have to be slow about it, so just make small lines like that. You don't have to be perfect, but as long as it generally looks fine, then go ahead. Actually, for lines like that, I like to use a thicker liner, so I'm going to go with the 0.1 liner. And I'm just going to make little strokes like I just showed you, going across for that straight line, straight-ish line anyways. And if it doesn't look that great where you can see where the lines meet and whatnot, just thicken it. I used to like really thin lines where I didn't have to thicken it, but I was kind of crap at that. Thin lines just don't look good on my art, so I like to thicken the line. And there you go. And I guess I'll just ink this marshmallow here so that you guys can see. Make little flicky strokes. Don't go crazy with it where you flick off the page but you go like this way or that way. Just make it very, very fixed and static, I guess. So for these, you do the exact same thing. You just have to stroke. If you are confident with your lines, then do what I just did, where you just pretty much drew it out like that. And then if it doesn't look that great and it looks wobbly, just thicken the middle of the curve. Like I mentioned before, I went into speed ink time-lapse mode. So you just ink the middle like that. And no one will even know. And if you ever make mistakes while inking, just thicken the whole line altogether. Don't make it too thick, but you can always thicken the line and make it look better. So if something doesn't look even to you, then just thicken some parts just to make it look better. So here I'm just inking where the curves are, as you can see. Don't thicken straight lines, like just right in the middle of straight lines. Like you can do that if they have a little curve to them, but if they're exactly straight and you add different thicknesses for that straight line, it won't look straight anymore. So for thick lines, just thicken the parts where it's very curved, like so, and it looks a lot better. So that's pretty much all I do for inking. I just ink where two lines meet right here, I just thicken the line a little bit and let it taper out like that, where it's thicker where the lines meet, and then it kind of thins out as you go. And that's pretty much all I do. So I just thicken the lines where they meet, and then I just thicken the border, and that's pretty much it. So, hope this helped you somewhat, and have a nice day. Bye.